This previously recorded webinar was created for the Nevada Digital Learning Collaborative. Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today as we discuss organizing content in Canvas. My name is Lauren Burleson. I am an educator in the Clark County School District. I am also a digital ambassador for the Nevada Department of Education, or the Nevada Digital Learning Collaborative. I'm very excited to discuss all things related to Canvas and preparing your course for years to come so that it is easier for any educator moving forward. Additionally, with this webinar, there is a PDF document or the PDF version of the slide deck that you will see during this webinar. If you would like to download that, it is available to you. There are links provided with resources as well. Lastly, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to reach out to me. I am all over social media as Canvas Queen. I have also my own YouTube channel, so feel free to reach out and ask any questions about anything discussed today. Okay, so we'll be discussing organizing content in Canvas. This is for teachers, educators, administrators who are at the beginning or intermediate to advanced level of Canvas. So really everyone. And we'll just kind of review how you can organize your course in Canvas and also outside of Canvas, so that for the following years, Canvas is very simple and easy for you to use, so all you have to do is really copy your course and import it for the next year. So let's get started. All right, so just to review what we'll be discussing, we're going to go over course layout, organizing modules in Canvas, assignment templates, and then lastly, we'll go over clickability and flow. Within course layout, which is our first topic, we're going to review starting with your homepage and choosing a homepage, student audience, course navigation, and then using modules. So if you're not using modules, you should, and we'll go over that. If you are using modules, we'll kind of discuss and review how you can easily organize them. Okay, so when you first log into your course or you're getting your new Canvas course, what you'll see is this blank page, and it's very intimidating and a little shocking because you as the instructor have to fill it in. And so how are you going to do that? What are the best ways in which you can make your life and also the life of your students easier? So let's kind of go over those things. So I believe the first step with your Canvas course is really reviewing your Canvas homepage. This is kind of like an outline to your course. It's that landing page of where do you want your students to go to access the material, right? What information is super important that they need to have really easy access to, so when they click from their dashboard into your course, that's the first thing they see. So using a Canvas homepage, I think, is best, so meaning an actual page as the front page. I know you can, of course, use course modules. That is a definite option. I've used that for many, I would say, 3 years that I taught. I used just actually the course modules as the homepage. So they click on their course card from the dashboard, and then all they see is the modules list. That is nice. I think a page is better because you can actually put like I said before, put the important information in and then navigate them, your students, of course, a little bit better. So course modules you can definitely use. Assignment lists you can use. A syllabus, I would suggest if you're like high school level, a syllabus is not a bad option for your main homepage. And then of course there's also the course activity string. But for me, I think, and for most educators that are in that K through 12th grade level, a page for your front landing homepage of your Canvas course, I think is best. And I think this because teachers get to organize the page however they like. It's easy to create virtual classroom management routines. So just like you create classroom management within your class of, here's where my papers go to be submitted. This is what you do to check out to go to the bathroom. All of those different things, you can easily incorporate those on your Canvas homepage and customize it yourself, where the other options don't really give you that customizable feature. So then lastly, it becomes a reference page for your students. So everything that is significant to your class, all the important information is right there for your students, and they don't have to search for it within what I call the Canvas black hole, which you can create yourself. You can create your own black hole, but we'll get to how you don't do that. Alright, so to create your Canvas homepage, I suggest just drawing it out. I honestly think that is the easiest thing that you can do. What are the most important things for you as an educator to incorporate into your Canvas course? So I always have at the very top a welcome banner, so that way when students click on the Canvas course card, they know they're in the right course. Having my contact information, my course outline, so essentially just a page where they can review the course syllabus. If you are online, distance learning, having a live lesson button where you click your Zoom calls or your Google Meets, I think is also super important to have at the top. And then you can actually link, so creating buttons or just a hyperlink that has all of your lessons that are linked to the modules really helps your students navigate your course, and it also helps you stay organized as well, because when your students are organized and you're organized, it's just very nice. Then below that, I actually have a daily agenda posted. So this is an embedded Google slide, which just gives a list of things that students are to do. I like to embed a Google slide because then I just edit the Google slide, and when it's updated, it updates it automatically to my Canvas page. I don't have to keep editing my home page, which is really nice. And I'll show you how I do that in a little bit. For parents, I always like to leave a section on my homepage that is for them. So this will be like a hyperlink that takes them to course expectations or how to become an observer of their child in the course, and frequently asked Canvas questions, or sometimes a newsletter. And then expectations. So this is most of the time something that is within the syllabus, or my school will provide me, the school expectations, and so I'll hyperlink that as well. And lastly, you can see there Canvas frequently asked questions. So this is usually a hyperlink that takes them to the Canvas Learning Management website and just kind of allows my students easy access to learn how to do certain things that they might be confused about. So just writing your outline and then knowing this is what I'm going to have on my Canvas page, or these are the important things that I need to have. What does that look like? I think is really vital for all educators to stay organized. And once you've done it once, you don't have to do it again because it's saved and you can just make copies of it. So before I show you my Canvas course, I just really quickly wanted to talk about requirements, because every school or school district even will have a specific guideline for Canvas that they want to make sure all of this information is the same, or maybe your homepage is supposed to look very similar to all the other teachers at your school. So just make sure before you start creating all of your content that you check with either your school or your district and review the course checklist for Canvas. So I'm going to show you what my current Canvas homepage looks like. I'm going to click here on my course card and my Canvas page will load. So you'll see here I have some tabs at the top that provides all of my additional information. But this is my main homepage. So I have my welcome banner. I have my ways to contact me, social media that my students follow me on. So that's just like extra fluff because I'm the weird social media science teacher. Then we have some buttons here. So this takes the students, if I click this, it takes them directly to a page that starts the orientation outline for my students. I actually have this entire module, so I'll show you real quick when I go to modules. This entire module 0, there we go. This entire module 0 is posted in this part. This is a different part. This part is posted in Commons if you would like to have it yourself. So let's go back to the home page real quick. So in addition to this module 0 button, I also have all of my different modules here. So when I click on these, it will take them to a page that has all of my lessons. And each one of these lessons is tied to a different module. So when I click on lesson 3, it's going to take me to module 1, lesson 3. So this really helps my students navigate the course because your modules page, as you can see here when I scroll up, it can get very long. You can, of course, collapse everything and have easier access, but I like my students to be able to just click twice and they're automatically there in the course where they need to be. So that's just additional and helps my students and me stay organized. So back on my home page at the bottom, I have an animated Bitmoji classroom, which is just extra. This was really important for me when we were distance learning, and I just kept it because I thought it was cute. But then below here, this is my embedded Google slide. So you can see here I have all of the dates for my students. They can click around, go back to that main page where I have like a quote of the week. But they can click on their days and access their assignments here, which makes it easy for students too, let's say that are absent and at home, they can know to go straight to the home page, access the to-do list, and then that's when they know where they would go within the Canvas course to complete their assignments. So that's just a quick little outline of my home page. Now to choose your home page, you would go over to the right side here and click on this button, choose home pages. Here is where I have front page or page as front page, but of course you can click any other one of these to be your home page, but I do suggest pages. Pages I think is the best. Now, if you want to embed a Google slide into a page, I have just quickly opened a page here. I've created a blank one. To embed any Google slide into a page, you have a couple options. You, of course, can click on your Drive button and your Google Drive will pop up. You'll select any files that are available, so then it will pop up like your most recent ones. I will select this one real quick, just like the calendar. It will then attach, and there you go. Now I have my calendar embedded into the page. Now if you don't like these black spaces here are just a little bit annoying, you can always go into this is called down here the HTML editor, and you can always adjust the width. So let's just keep the width the same, or we could do, actually let's do 100%. That always makes it a little bit easier. And then of course you can adjust the height. So I'll like click back and forth. You can see now it's all the way across the page. Those black bars have kind of minimized. So that means I need to make it the height a little shorter. So I'll go down to like 650 and we'll see what that looks like. And you'll see they become smaller and smaller as you just kind of play around with it. So I'll just do 620 and I'm happy with that. So then I'll just scroll down click save for now. And then I have an embedded Google slide right here, which is really nice for students within Canvas to have access to. So your outline, so meaning your home page, of course, depends on your grade level. So as you saw as an example of mine for secondary, primary is probably going to require a few more buttons, maybe every day, buttons where they click on Mondays, activities, Tuesdays, etc. Maybe, you have a bigger button for announcements. So making sure that you write down your needs based on your grade level is very important. Another thing to keep in mind with your homepage or just your course in general is the navigation bar. So having minimal navigation options, so meaning, for primary, just making it maybe 3 is super important, like home, modules, announcements. Secondary is able to have a few more because they tend to do a bit more within Canvas. So, besides having home, modules, announcements, maybe they can, look at their grades and review what assignments they're missing within their grades navigation tool, or they can go to quizzes right away, accessing discussions, having their Google Drive available because they need to sync their Google Drive a little bit easier, or putting that responsibility on them. And then people is also another option that I have, because if my students are going to be doing group work, they have to access the people navigation tool. So we'll review how you can organize this and set this up a little bit later. Okay, so we've talked about setting up your homepage and organizing that. We've talked about having, specific navigation tools. Now let's talk about, which I think is the most important thing in Canvas, is using modules. So it's for every grade level. How you organize them is dependent on how you want to do it. There's no right or wrong way. So we have examples here for primary. This module right here for module 0, as you can see in the middle, is for all grades, and I actually have some templates already for modules within Commons if you want to go check those out. You just have to search Canvas Queen to find me and my resources. Then we have over here, this secondary one is a module that I've used in the past. So, you have your warm-ups at the top, lesson presentations, and then the body of the lesson where they're going to complete their assignments at the bottom. So since we touched on modules, we're going to talk about organizing them all together. What are they in the first place? How do you use them? And then also how I like to blend my Google Drive with my Canvas modules to help me stay more organized in my course and outside of my course. So first and foremost, what is a module? If you're not using Canvas modules, you need to try them out. A module is essentially an organizing tool that you can organize your course content by weeks, by unit, by standard, lesson, day, etc. There's no right or wrong way to use them, as I've said before. Modules create a linear flow of what students should complete. So it's like a list of things that students need to do within their course. Modules can also not only just contain assignments, but they can contain files, discussions, of course assignments, quizzes, and other learning materials. You can place a page within a module that has a video that you want the students to engage with. You can create an entire module for a project, which is something I'm currently doing. So ways to organize them, you can do it by day, by week, by subject, lesson, unit, standard. There's no right or wrong way. It's a preference to you, and I think that's the beauty of Canvas, is you can customize it and organize it the way that fits your needs. So you can do it. I have teachers who've done it by week, so they just put all of the week assignments they, do week 19, they put the date. That's really a nice, easy way for students to identify like where they're at within the course, or if they've, missed something, they're absent, they need to go back. I've also seen students or teachers go through for primary, they have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday modules, and I think that's great as well. So basically a day is a module, and with primary, I've even seen them publish one module at a time. So meaning, they publish the whole week, and then they actually will unpublish that 1 week's modules for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they change them to the next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just something to think about moving forward. It's so nice that you can customize it the way that you want. So what is a module in reference to your Google Drive? So I really love to have everything that I'm using in Canvas because I'm a Clark County School District teacher, so we use Google. This can also, of course, be applied to Microsoft, or if you're not even using Microsoft, just regular files on your computer. So don't feel like you are alone if you are not somebody who uses Google. This applies across the board. So essentially, you have your module. That one module is equivalent to one folder or Google Drive folder. So in just a minute, I will show you my Google Drive, but this is basically how it's outlined. You have your course folder. So here I have last year's folder, 8th grade science 2020-21. That's the Canvas course. And then within that folder, I've broken it down into modules. So I have module 1, module 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are my units. But then if you click within that module folder, so we have module 1, I then even break it down even further into deeper modules. So they're by lesson. And I like to do it that way because I think the shorter the module, the better. If you're going to have a really long module, let's say for all your one module for one unit, it's just really, really long. And I feel like the students don't feel that sense of accomplishment. So I like to break it down into lessons. So we do module 1, lesson 1, that's one module. Module 1, lesson 2, that's another module. So it just kind of chunks it up into pieces, and that way they feel like they're getting through the content a lot more quickly, and they get to have their badges and accomplishments, and they really enjoy that part. So you'll see on the next slide here, within that Google Drive or within that Google folder, I have every single document that my module will contain. So that includes even pages. So I'll even save the page as I'll take a picture of it if I create it in Canvas, and I'll import it into my Google Doc just so I always have backups no matter what. But Google Documents within the folder are what equal the Canvas module content. So pages, assignments, discussions, quizzes, you name it, it's all in my Google Drive. So essentially this is what it looks like for every single module. So I actually really start creating my course with Google first. So if you're someone who has used only Google Classroom in the past, you have a lot of Google Documents, a lot of the work is already done for you, and you just have to organize it and place it within Canvas, which is really nice. So all of my curriculum I have in Google goes straight into a module that I organize like this, and they are able to complete all of their stuff within Canvas. Okay, so this is my Google Drive folder for my 8th grade science class. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a tour and how it kind of syncs and follows Canvas. So right now you can see we have additional resources, semester 1, semester 2, and then this semester condensed was from last year when we did distance learning. So I just have it saved just in case. But down here we have the main files. These are like the course outline, the standards, everything is placed right there. But then semester 1 and 2, the reason why I separate the semesters is because these each represent one Canvas course. So how Clark County School District likes to set up Canvas for secondary, one semester is equivalent to one Canvas course. So when semester 2 rolls around, we'll be getting a new Canvas course, and all of my material will come from this folder right here additionally. So semester 1, we'll click in here and I'll show you how they kind of sync along with Canvas. So this, I mostly want to point this out because if, like I've said kind of before, if you use Google Classroom and you have lots of Google content, it's really nice and easy for you to just place it into Canvas. And I just organize it a little bit nicer so I know where to access everything for my Canvas course. So we have the units, so I've broken them down and then I've also labeled them. So M1 represents Module 1, M2, Module 2, M3, Module 3. But when I click, so when I go into Module 1, all right, so these folders right here represent each lesson in Canvas. So I have Module 1, this is Lesson 1, so this is the first module. Module 1, Lesson 2, Module 1, Lesson 3, Module 1, Lesson 4, Module 1, Lesson 5, as you can see. And then also we have this folder here is the Mars Lander Egg Drop Project. So I actually have created an entire project that is one module that students will engage with. And you'll see here as well, I also place the course standards and goals. And so when I enter into semester 1 and I go to the forces and motion unit, each of these folders represents one module. So let me show you what that looks like within Canvas now. So real quick, we will go to Module 1, Lesson 2, Gravity and Friction within Canvas. So let's go see what that looks like. Okay, so here we are in Canvas. We're at my Module 1, Lesson 2, Gravity and Friction. We've got pi to the face as a warm-up on free body diagrams. So this is a Google Doc that's in that folder that I showed you and now I've embedded it into Canvas. Then we have the lesson presentation. This is a Google slide show. When I scroll down here, we have our prior knowledge evaluation. This is a Google Doc that students submit via Canvas. This reading guide, they have a reading guide that is also a Google document that they fill out. Interactive notebook is a Google Slides deck that they get to interact with and play with and enter text and things like that. And then they have a free body diagrams. So activity, I give them an activity. This is a Google Doc. They have a self-assessment. This is the post-assessment of the lesson. This is also a Google Doc. And then they have a Canvas quiz. So yeah, so very Google friendly. I think Google and Canvas are pretty much a great marriage. So if you liked Google Classroom, Canvas gives you the opportunity to really organize your Google content the way you want to. So just to review again, coming back to this slide, a Google folder with all of your Google documents goes straight into your Canvas modules. So not only are modules really great to use for organization, but they are also really great for differentiating. So for example, there is this thing called mastery paths within Canvas that you can use that you have to use via modules. So basically a teacher can create a mastery path or a path within a module that gives students placement of where they need to go. So let's say they start with a graded assignment, and from there they didn't do so well on the assignment. They then get placed, let's say, to do additional assignments to help build them and scaffold them to the final assignment or quiz. But let's say that a student did really well, they would instead then be placed maybe directly to the end of the module or quiz because they understood the content better. So you can create modules with mastery paths with graded assignments, discussions, quizzes, and that determines their placement and where they go based on their scores. So if you would like to learn more about mastery paths, I do have that linked right here as well. If you want to create a module, all you have to do is go into your Canvas course. You will then go to Modules Navigation Tool, then head on over to the right side of the page to that lovely blue plus module button. Click it, and then it will load for you a new window. Once that window is open, you can then click and give it a name. I will do Module 1 for now. You can lock it, so that means the students cannot access the material within the module. You can also have prerequisites, and I'll show you what that looks like in a created module after I just click Add Module. So we add the module to create it. It then will populate at the bottom of your modules page. So here it is. It's empty. To fill it, you'll click that plus button. Alright, so this window right here allows you to add any assignment that you've created. You can also click over here and it gives you some options to add. You can do a quiz, a file, page, discussion, text header, external URL, or an external tool. So you do have a lot of options in what you want to add to your module. So then when you select something you want to add, you would just click Add Item. But I am going to exit this and show you how to do a prerequisite. Okay, let's go to this one, Describing Motion, and to add a prereq, we're going to click on the 3 dots. We are going to select Edit. It will then populate a new window, which again will have kind of the same format of when I added the blue plus button module. So I can change the name of the module if I want to. I can lock that module until a given date if I want to. I can add prerequisites or requirements, so meaning the prerequisite is, let's say they had to complete this module, Module 0, before they move on to Module 1, Lesson 1. So I can add that if I want to. I can also add requirements. So the requirements can be, let's say, students must complete everything in order. So I can select that, or I can also select students must complete one of these requirements. So it just kind of is dependent on what you as the instructor want. But let's say I want them, this is a balloon rocket warm-up, but let's just say I want them to do the prior knowledge. And in order for them to move on, they have to submit the assignment. So you'll see there's a few options there. So add a requirement, let's just do it for the balloon rockets one. So I can make the requirement, the other options are view the item, so meaning they just click on the assignment, they view it, they can move on. They have to mark that it's done, so basically they get through the page, they click mark done, and then they can move on to the next thing, submit the assignment, or they have to score at least whatever that is. So one thing that is nice about this is, let's say you do a quiz at the end of the module, they can't move on until they score, let's say, like a 75%. They have to go back and basically review to get a 70% or higher. Next up, we have assignment templates, creating those templates, and then the HTML editor is a quick, easy tip to make copies. So this is really all about cutting down your time, staying organized so you can cut down that creation and work time that you have as an instructor in Canvas. So Canvas templates, ultimately, you need to determine as an instructor or teacher, what activities do you complete consistently, and then create the template. So for me in science, we always have, pre-assessment, we always have a reading guide, there's always a notebook assignment, everything that you kind of see on this this side of me, we do consistently in my class. So what I do is I will create a template module, and this module is unpublished, so that way the students don't see it. It's really empty and it has generic directions on how to complete the assignment, and then all I have to do is make copies. And this is great because this is just very easy and quick for me to create assignments sometimes on the fly. If I decide, no, we're going to actually do an activity today, I would then copy that activity and insert all of my specific directions and information, and I'm pretty much done and ready to go. So creating copies of the assignment template ultimately cuts down on that precious teacher time that we all have. Okay, so here you can see my template module. This is actually not in my course. It's in a workroom or a sandbox course. So really nice. I can actually just even send it to someone via email. So if I want to share it with a fellow teacher, I can then type in their email right there and send it to them. I can also click the 3 dots and copy to any course that I want to. But let's just say this is my course that I'm using. So I have it unpublished at the top, and then here is going to be my module that will be published. So all I have to do now is click duplicate. When I click duplicate, it will make a copy that I can then come down and click and drag it to that module, and then from there I can edit the name. If I don't like the pre-assessment copy, I can click edit, and let's make this instead. So we have pre-assessment, we'll do module 1 or M1 pre-assessment, so that way we give it a different name. We'll click update, and now I have my copy, my duplicate. So this makes for really quick, easy copies in Canvas. So you have your module at the top here that is unpublished, and then you just start making copies of these assignments that you have that you created as templates. All right, so this is a primary basic template that I have in Commons. So this is for primary, and we can see the weekly agenda. We have math, English, social studies, science, etc. So if you were to click on that math assignment, you can see that I already have created like a basic insert here information. So we have objective, to-do list, turning in the assignment. So the objective, you would obviously put like, what is the purpose of the assignment? What are we learning about? The to-do would be that specific information that directs students to understand what the expectations are, and then directions on how to turn in the assignment step by step so that it's easy for them to complete. So if you want to check that out in Commons, it is over there in the link within the slide deck. Okay, so here is the second one that I have. This is a secondary basic template. So we have the pre-assessment one. So you can see I have a very generic instruction. So it just says, before the learning of new content takes place, you evaluate your prior knowledge. You will also be introduced to the objective and explore open-ended questions. All of my pre-assessments say that within the Canvas assignment. What is different every time is that Google Doc that's attached at the bottom that they open and complete and then submit. And you'll see then you can add to complete this assignment what steps are you going to have. So again, if you want it for secondary teachers in Commons, it's down below. All right, so for those of you who like a quick, easy cheat code on how to copy and paste like assignments or create copies of assignments, the HTML editor is the way to go. So within any rich content editor, so that's a page, a discussion, an assignment, so many more, you can even do it with a quiz, where you have basically a box, a text box to enter information, directions, videos, what have you, there's a rich content editor button, and it looks like the greater than, less than sign. This is easy way to create copies for your class. So sometimes in Canvas, if you have stuff attached, let's say an external tool attached to the assignment, or you have even sometimes a rubric attached to the assignment, it does not want to make a copy. So like you can't go over to the 3 dots on the side and make a copy. It just won't let you duplicate the assignment. So this is a way that you can kind of get around that if you are doing something consistently that you like. For example, I want to make a duplicate assignment of this one. If I go over to the 3 dots, like I explained, there is no option to duplicate. You can copy to the same course, but issues usually arise a lot of the time with this because it'll make an exact identical copy to this assignment. So meaning it will create 2 M1, L3 prior knowledge evaluation assignments, and they will be synced to each other. So if students try to complete that assignment, it will be this assignment again twice. So they're like synced and it just doesn't work. So HTML is the way to go when you have already created the assignment but you want to make a copy of it and it does not give you the option to make a duplicate. Okay, so here's the example. You have the rich content editor on the left, so that's what it looks like in view mode. And then when you select that greater less than sign, the HTML editor pops up in code. So this is what the page would look like in code form. To make your quick copy, you will select all of the code, copy it, then open up your new document or your new Canvas assignment, your new Canvas page, whatever is easiest for you, and then paste that code into the HTML editor. So you open up a rich content editor, you then select that greater less than sign button again, you paste this code in, and then like magic, you've created a quick copy of the directions, and it will copy all of your images, all your videos, anything that you have in that code form, it will transfer over, which is really, really nice. All right, so for example, let's say that I'm in this assignment, prior knowledge evaluation. This is for my lesson 3, but let's say I want to copy all the directions, including this linked button that I have here for turn in assignment help. So what I'll do is I will go into edit the assignment. You can see there's already an assignment attached to this. I want to create a complete copy of this. So within edit mode, you can see that I have everything in my rich content editor. Here are my directions within the rich content editor, and you can see I have this button down here that I want to take with me that has a link. So I'm just going to select the HTML button. We're going to copy this code, copy, and we will open up a new assignment. All right, so here is my Module 1 Lesson 7 prior knowledge that I want to use in my Canvas course, and I want to use the same directions that I had before. So I'm going to go into Edit. This assignment is completely blank right now. Once it loads, I am then going to go to the bottom. We're going to go to the bottom of the text box. Click the greater than less than HTML button, and then we will paste in the code that we copied. So that way when I click on the little button again, it will now populate and load everything that I had before. So that's just a quick, easy way to make a copy if for some reason you are unable to make a copy of an assignment that already has an attached document to it. So now, of course, I can scroll down here and add, so for the submission part with an external tool, I can add any document from Google that I want right here. So our next and last section for organizing content in Canvas is clickability and flow. So this is all about editing your course navigation for students so that they are able to navigate your course really easily and smoothly, and then using buttons as well and how that's beneficial for students entering your course. So at the elementary level, I think it's really important to minimize where your students can go. We don't want them entering into tools that they don't use, which I like to call the black hole of Canvas, entering into places you haven't even touched yourself as an instructor. So limit students where they can go within the course, having a maximum of like 3 navigation tools. I think home, modules, and announcements is the perfect blend of things to have. Then utilizing your home page for elementary is where you can really customize where you want your students to go and navigate the course, because I feel like those buttons at the elementary level really help control the flow and navigation for our lovely primary students. So with secondary, ultimately, it's up to you as the instructor what's important for your students to have access to. Students at the secondary level are obviously able to create their own pathways and to find their work within Canvas. They can navigate a lot easier than elementary. So we can give them more options. So instead of just having home, modules, and announcements, we can have them access, their grades so they can review what assignments, maybe they didn't submit. They can also enter in fake scores to evaluate and see, if I get this on the test, what does that mean for my score overall in the course? You can have them easily access discussions. People, I think, is a great one, because then at that level we're doing group work. So if they have access to people, they can get into groups and collaborate in the class. Okay, so in order to edit your navigation, I'm going to actually demonstrate this in a second, but here's kind of the step-by-step list on how to do it. You're going to go into settings. You're going to click navigation tab, click and drag unwanted items that you're not using to the bottom. Then you have to scroll down and click save. Sometimes we forget that the save button is at the very bottom and it doesn't auto save for you. So just make sure you go to the bottom and you click the blue button that says save. All right, so I am back in my Canvas course and we are gonna go to settings. And we're going to adjust the navigation bar. All right, so normally what first pops up is your course details, but we are going to select navigation. So this is currently everything that my students have access to. So we have home, modules, announcements, grades, quizzes, people, and Google Drive. So I am just going to actually remove Google Drive so we can see that we can just click and drag. And then if I want these in a different order, I'll just click disable. If I want these in a different order, I can also move them around. So I'll put people on top, and then to save it, we will just go to the bottom. And click save. Now you are able to see within the student view, here are my course navigation tools that I have access to. So really clean, easy, makes it nice for our students to navigate the course and not enter into the black holes. Who doesn't love a good button, right? Well, I love buttons. I think they're a great way to navigate students in your course in your own unique way. Again, you have your wonderful homepage, your landing page, and you can navigate your students however you like within that course page. I think also buttons offer less clicks in a lot of ways. They can kind of be a shortcut to some things that require multiple steps. So that's another really great benefit of incorporating buttons. Any link can be added to a button, even links or resources that are outside of Canvas. So if you have some sort of like syllabus that's a Google Doc that you've already created, just add the Google Doc link to the button and it'll take your students, or let's say a parent observer, right there, which is awesome. Not only do you have to use buttons on your homepage, but they can also be added within any assignment, discussion, wherever you want to add a link. And buttons, if you don't want to create a button, you can always just use text and link the text as well to create that navigation in your class. Now, if you like some of the buttons that I have presented here, I do have a Teachers Pay Teachers store that you can access. I have some freebie buttons that you can have just for yourself. So go ahead and check that out if you would like. The first thing to create my button, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Insert Word Art, and I'm going to add my title of my button. So I'm going to do Module 1. For those, this is really basic for like an a secondary title. Elementary school, you might want to go with something more like math or science, whatever subject is, or maybe you want to do your button is about me or whatever title you feel best. Then I'm going to go to shapes. I'm going to click this shape because I like it. And I'm going to click and drag the shape over like so. And change the background or the fill color of the shape and the border, the outline. And then I'm going to go to Order, Send to the back, and you'll see I have my button. Now I don't want to go back to File, Download as a JPEG image here because it will save this whole slide as an image. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take a screenshot. Now, it won't show you on the platform that I'm using to record what a screenshot looks like, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm selecting Shift-Command-4, clicking and dragging where I want my image outline to be. So the blue line, the rectangle you see, that's what I'm going to take a picture of, and I'll show you just real quick. I don't think you can see what I'm doing, but I just took a screenshot of it, and now it's saved to my computer. Okay, so now that I'm in Canvas, what I'm going to do is before I add my images with the image icon, I created more buttons, so I want all of my buttons to be nice and lined up. So I'm actually going to create a table first, and I have 4 buttons, so I created a table with 4 cells. And I'm going to click on the first cell to import my first button. So I'm going to go back the way I did before to Upload Image and import my first button here. Then I'm going to go actually and do the same with the rest. So I'm going to go back. Actually, this time I went to Course Images. So these are images that I uploaded in my Canvas files before. And I'm going to import my other buttons that I created into the table. And last one here. Okay, so now I have all 4 of my buttons. You can see they're all nice, neat in a row. Now to get rid of the outline of the table, you're just going to select any one of the pictures and then go back up to the table icon, go to Table Properties, Advanced, select Border Style. You want it hidden with the border color white. Now I do this because this one only gets the outside of the table. This one gets the inside border of the table. So now you can see it looks nice and neat, and it looks like they're standing independently. Last part I'm going to show you is how to add a link. So you're going to click on whatever image you want and then go up to this link icon. I'm going to do a course link. External links, you can add whatever, like let's say a YouTube video link, a website link, whatever you want. I'm just going to go to my pages here because I already have a page ready to go that's marked Module 1. And that one now has a link. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so now you can see here's my home page. And when I click on this module, it should now, or button module, it should take me to a new page. And now if I want, I can go back. And that's how you create buttons for Canvas. So as I stated before, you don't have to use buttons only on your home page. You can use them within assignments, discussions, quizzes. You saw earlier when I was using my little HTML copy paste code that I have a turn in assignment help button on every single assignment. So that's a button with a hyperlink. So as you can see the example here as well, I not only use them on assignments but also on quizzes. So this is just in case like they need help. They have this button will take them to a page that shows the step-by-step guide on how to submit an assignment or how to complete a quiz. So just something really nice and easy for them to access as a confused student if needed. I also have buttons on pages to help navigate my students. So you can see here starting over on the left side, click to view the Canvas page. So you click on the page and then the page has buttons. So this is on my how to use Canvas or Module 0 resource page. So I have multiple things there, a home page, like what do you do when you are on the home page, submit assignment, discussion, quizzes. So these are all how-to buttons and they're big, nice, and bolded. So when they click on it, for example, let's say they click on the submit assignment button, it takes them to a page that has all the resources for them. Now that page doesn't necessarily return them back unless I created additional button in the top corner that says return to Module 0 using Canvas page. So we can use buttons to return to the page within the module. We can use buttons to take them to another page that's not in the module. You can use buttons however you like, and I think that's one thing that's really great about buttons in Canvas. Well, thank you so much for joining me during this webinar. I hope that it was helpful to you. Please feel free to share it around with your fellow education friends. And additionally, if you would like to look at some more resources, please visit the Nevada Learning Collaborative website. There's tons of resources on there. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, or you can also reach out to me via social media. I will answer any question that you have. Thank you so much again for joining me.